I'm joined by Ollie Walker, who takes part in the AC40 Pro class, the air-cooled bike, which is this one here, and the liquid-cooled machine in the Junior LC40 class. Now, last time, Ollie, you were going fantastic, but unfortunately, you went down when you were in the lead in the Minimoto Pro class. I know you were absolutely gutted and jumping up and down, but just tell us about Tattershall. You obviously like that circuit, I guess.
Yeah.
And things going for you this year, it looks like you're right on the pace now in both classes. Is that fair to say? And where's that all come from? Just the time on the bike?
Yeah, just practicing at different tracks and stuff.
And you're in the Moto Rapido Ducati team, looking good in the suit. Now this weekend, now you went down twice last time. We're just having a look at both accidents now. Once while you were leading, the second one when you were in second place, I think, just coming out of the hairpin. And you were lucky there not to get collected because the bike went straight past you. But what did you learn? I did say to you, stop having a buddy, get back on the bike, if you remember. What did you learn from that one where you were in the lead? Because I think if you'd have got back on the bike immediately, I think you might have made up an extra sort of 2 or 3 places. Is that fair to say, do you think?
Well, I should have got back on the bike, but there was like a problem because it was just really revving it, so couldn't get back on it really.
Yeah, and I think we saw that earlier in the race. It looked like you had a problem with the bike. It was chattering a bit coming through the corners. This weekend here at Red Lodge, you like this track, obviously?
Yeah, it's going well quite far.
What are you hoping for this weekend in both classes?
Well, just a podium each one, please, really.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
So let's see what Ollie Walker can do from pole position. Alongside him is Casey O'Gorman on the front of the grid. Dylan Mellor and Johnny Garnes are on the second. Ryan Hitchcock and Eddie O'Shea, James Cook, Ross Maguire, Taylor Stewart Campbell and Jimmy Parker giving chase just in front of the number 2, Josh Bannister. Should be a really interesting one this as well, because Casey O'Gorman normally rides number 7. Looks to me as though he might have borrowed a bike for this one. I'm not sure exactly, but that definitely looks like a different number to me than the 7 he normally carries, so he may well have borrowed a bike for this one. But Ollie Walker, we just heard from him, looks very motivated going into this one, and he likes Red Lodge, so let's see what Ollie Walker can do from the front of the grid. Plenty of riders will want to try and challenge though. Dylan Mellor and Johnny Garnes from that second row of the grid should be a threat, and keep an eye on the likes of Eddie O'Shea, who's always really strong when he's got a good bike underneath him. Here we go, and what a sweeping move that is from Ollie Walker, who has swept through into the lead, no questions asked. Casey O'Gorman seems to be struggling a little bit. He's let 2 riders get through already.
And in second place, sweeping through from behind the front row, a bit like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Here's Johnny, looking up the inside. Johnny Garnes can't quite get it done as they go out onto Oak Tree, but look at this, the pair of them, and here he comes now, still can't get it done, looking to sweep through, but it looks like Garnes has got the pace. Walker under pressure, but they've got a reasonably comfortable lead this early in the race. The runners and riders in this championship on your screen now.
Yes, indeed. On the track, it's Walker from Garnes, Mellor in third in front of Casey O'Gorman, Eddie O'Shea, Ryan Hitchcock, Ross Maguire and James Cook. Great battle all the way down here. Again comes Johnny Garnes trying to make the move. Can't quite get close enough to Ollie Walker. He doesn't want to go ugly early to just throw it down the inside. He needs to wait for a good opportunity. That looks to me like Casey O'Gorman has got himself back in the third. We've got a bike down. Is that Dylan Mellor? I think that's Dylan Mellor who's gone, and Ryan Hitchcock's gone with him.
Looks like Mellor has gone down. Hitchcock nowhere to go. He's, I think, hidden from view basically for Ryan Hitchcock, and he's run over the bike, and that's taken him down. Back with the racing though, that is Hitchcock getting back on the bike.
Well, fair play to him, that was quite a hefty fall, so he's going to try and get himself back in a position. That is the new leader, Johnny Garnes has gone through into the lead, so Garnes takes the lead off Ollie Walker. Now Walker knew was going through, right, we've got 2 riders down elsewhere. Taylor Stewart Campbell's gone, Evan Pendrop, there they both are. Oh guys, get out of the way, goodness me, that was close. As the rest of the field goes through. Now this is what happened to Dylan Mellor, watch, here he goes, he loses the bike, falls down, and look, Hitchcock's got absolutely no chance of missing him.
No, Hitchcock nowhere to go, not got a chance of going round him there, so goes over the bike, ends up on the track. The marshal there trying to make sure nobody runs him over, taking his own life in his hands, so well played the marshal there.
Yeah, well done to all the officials around the circuit, to be fair. It's a very precarious job to do, but somebody has to do it.
Indeed.
Now watch Casey O'Gorman. Look, he is suddenly starting to gain ground on our two leaders up front. Johnny Garnes leading, Ollie Walker second. O'Gorman is third, fourth is Maguire, fifth is Eddie O'Shea. It's turning into a really interesting battle with the top 5 bikes.
Johnny Garnes out front, loves this circuit, obviously. Had a great start, straight away through to second place. He's hunted down the leader, he's got the lead, and looks like, I was going to say he's clearing off, but actually he's being closed down now, so it's still a close battle. Top 3, that's Garnes leading. Walker second, who crashed last time, don't forget, twice at Tattershall. And the I'm going to say number 7 bike, Jay, but it's number 18 I think he's got on the bike. I think it's Casey O'Gorman. I'm assuming he's actually borrowed a bike, and Ross Maguire getting closer here as well. So it's a 4-way battle.
O'Gorman off the bike, off the throttle of the corner is very, very strong, and he's really, really mincemeating them into the braking zone. Now he's got a really big challenge from Maguire, who's reeling him in again. So we've got O'Gorman in third, Maguire in fourth, tightening up their grip on the two leaders. Johnny Garnes leading the way. Go, Johnny, go out in front as he tries to open up the taps, but Ollie Walker is still right with him. Casey O'Gorman choosing very different lines to try and get on the throttle onto the back of the bike in front. He dives into the inside. He realizes that's too high risk to just chuck the bike on the inside apex. Now he's having to defend as Maguire comes up the inside, takes the position. Nice move into the top curve there from Ross Maguire. He gets into third.
Eddie O'Shea there in 5th place. You can see it just off the back of this group of 4. He's hoping they keep battling because he will get ever closer. Coming down the inside, looking for second spot is Ross Maguire. Can't quite get it done. Walker holding on, and Garnes now under pressure as they close up on the leader. 4 or 5 bike lengths through turn 1 into the sweeper. Here comes Maguire for second and takes second spot. Look, Casey O'Gorman trying to go through and goes around the outside, drops Walker back to 4th.
That is one heck of a move from O'Gorman on the outside line there through turn 3. You really have to be brave to pull that one off, and Casey O'Gorman stands on his conviction and makes the move stick. Ross Maguire then now up into second position, chasing down Johnny Garnes, and I have the feeling he's got the speed to get there. So it's just a case of whether he can hold on for this as they manage to get past one of the tail end Charlies. And look, right on the power. Maguire almost managed to overhaul Johnny Garnes there off the way through. He had a crack at Casey O'Gorman at this point of the circuit on the previous lap and bailed out of it on the last lap. He may not decide to do so because it's too high risk at this point of the race. In the last lap, he might go for it on the inside, tries to get through, past Johnny Garnes, can't make the move stick, and now Casey O'Gorman is threatening to pounce as well.
What an amazing battle this is. It's one of the races of the season, one of the races of the past 3 years of the Coolfab Championship. Who's going to come out on top? Who knows? Garnes onto Oak Tree Straight, but Maguire trying to get in the slipstream. He's lost a couple of bike lengths up to the top curve as they sweep round here. Looks like Maguire's got the pace around this part of the circuit, but through the right-hander, Garnes, does he lose the lead? Maguire down the inside? No, Garnes holds on down a banana straight.
Great defensive moves from Johnny Garnes. You've just got to hang on and hope that Ross Maguire is not going to pull out alongside. Keep an eye on Casey O'Gorman as he swarms around. We're into the last lap, and it could go any one of these 3 riders' way. But don't forget, of course, we've still got Ollie Walker and Eddie O'Shea not too far away if there are a little bit of fisticuffs on the final lap. So let's just see. Into the sweeper through turn 3, back onto the sweeper, and then up towards Oak Tree Straight. Johnny Garnes getting a little bit bulled by a back marker, but he's able to sweep round. Johnny Garnes is able to get through. Ross Maguire struggles to get by. Casey O'Gorman is held up a little bit, but now look, Ross Maguire right on the back of Johnny Garnes as they go through the left-hander. Casey O'Gorman dives, can't get through.
It's all about the back marker. Maguire second, and the back marker has helped out the race leader. That's one in the race.
Yeah, Johnny Garnes is going to have this now with one more lap. It might have been different, but it's going to be a victory for Johnny Garnes, who hangs on in front of Ross Maguire. What about that for a victory? Casey O'Gorman is third, fourth for Ollie Walker, and fifth for Eddie O'Shea. He seems content with that, and rightly so. It's been a great run. Brilliant racing there once again. Absolutely terrific stuff, and what a battle as Garnes holds off Maguire and O'Gorman. Walker is fourth from Eddie O'Shea ahead of James Cook, Josh Bannister, Jimmy Parker in eighth from Mason Foster and Charlie Tilley.
Fantastic race. It's still Ross Maguire that has the championship lead, but Johnny Garnes closing in on him. O'Shea, Walker and Hitchcock third, fourth and fifth.